Even though moving tapings to the Thunderdome has been a big rating success for WWE, with its Black Mirror-style dystopian game show vibe and Pikachus, the company is still eager to get actual humans to shows as soon as possible. And according to the very reliable WrestleVotes, WWE is looking beyond Thunderdome to January's Royal Rumble for that to happen. WWE has a city in mind and are looking to get back to live crowds prior to that. However, they are keeping an eye on what the NBA and NHL do for next season regarding fans and capacity levels. This suggests WWE will be taping in the Thunderdome for the rest of the year, beyond their current deal with the Amway Center that runs through October. However, with the current situation being so volatile, it's still incredibly uncertain whether WWE will be able to safely welcome crowds back even early next year, if anyone's still watching by that point. Because as good as the early Thunderdome viewership was, its 3-week push from audiences appears to be over. Monday's episode dropped back down to pre-Thunderdome levels, only drawing 1.73 million viewers, far below the 2 million average they got after SummerSlam. If only WWE could Photoshop their own ratings reports like they do their wrestlers. Nia Jax has publicly called out WWE on Instagram for airbrushing her face in one of their creepy new match graphics. I get that Facetune is a thing now, but I'm not a big fan. I wear enough makeup and have great hair installed to pick up where I lack in looks. Facetune is a bit much. Yes, in my untouched pic you can see a big zit on my chin, whatevs. I have asked WWE to please replace my obviously face-tuned pic with the untouched. I'm not happy with the message it sends. A trio of long-standing lawsuits filed against WWE on behalf of former wrestlers Road Warrior Animal, Paul Orndorff, Jimmy Snuka, King Kong Bundy, Mr. Fuji, and Viscera have all been dismissed by the appeals court. The cases claimed WWE didn't protect them from head injuries during their time there, which could have resulted in CTE, a brain condition that is commonly associated with continued blows to the head. WWE have issued a statement regarding the dismissed cases. For nearly 6 years, WWE was subjected to stale and frivolous claims brought by Konstantin Kairos, whose misconduct triggered countless judicial opinions along the way. Today, the Second Circuit put an end to his pattern of baseless litigation, leaving open only the question of how much he must now pay to WWE as a sanction for his misconduct. We are grateful for the attention paid to these cases by the numerous federal judges who oversaw the litigation, and to the Second Circuit for its decision. Gasp! Breaking news just coming in! Manscaped saves balls! A big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode, the company behind the world's first all-in-one manscaping kit that makes manscaping safe and easy, because you don't want to bust your balls open hard way. Yes, I am calling MJF a giant ball bag here. This is the Perfect Package 3.0 kit, which includes the Lawnmower 3.0 body trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, and Crop Reviver ball toning spray. And if you order now using our code WTTV from the links below, you'll also get 2 free gifts. This fancy shed travel bag, ooh, leather. And Manscaped's anti-chafing boxer briefs, which I'm wearing right now beneath my Jam That Championship belt. Because when you've got balls as big as mine, you'll need their crop cooling technology to ensure it stays fresh down below. They're genuinely the most comfortable boxers I own, particularly for when I'm pumping all the iron down in the gym. So get your Perfect Package 3.0 kit online now using our links below, and make sure to opt into the Peak Hygiene subscription plan, where you get brand new boxers delivered straight to your door every cycle hassle-free. Use our code WTTV to get 20% off, free international shipping, and those 2 free gifts as well. Your balls. Well, thank you. And hey, why stop with your balls? You could trim all the hair on your head too, like Adam Blompier did on last night's Quizzlemania. Another member of the WrestleTalk team humbled. Now here's last night's episode of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. The show had a brilliant cold open with Chris Jericho and MJF fawning over each other before walking away and both muttering to themselves, "What a loser." The opening competitors were already in the ring to kick off the main show with a mouth-watering matchup of the Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express, which Jungle Boy rolled up Pentagon to win, bouncing back from his loss on Saturday. But it should have been Pentagon. This prompted a clash between Phoenix and Pentagon, which Eddie Kingston forced them to resolve. Hopefully this was just a way to get Eddie's leadership skills over rather than any Death Pentagon split, as they've only been together a few weeks. Kingston pointed out he was never properly eliminated from Saturday's Casino Battle Royale. He should form a faction with Curtis Axel and Maven too. Jake the Snake and Lance Archer cut a promo on Jon Moxley while standing in the rain. It wasn't as romantic as it sounds. Matt Hardy announced in-ring that he's expected to make a full recovery and he's sorry to his family for doing such a dangerous spot. He thanked the fans for their concern and said he's going after the AEW title once he's healthy. There was no angle, no interruption, just a straight up apology for All Out's uncomfortable botch, and I really appreciate that. Orange Cassidy pretty much squashed Angelico next, marking a definite increase in effort for Cassidy's character following the Jericho feud. Santana and Ortiz attacked Cassidy afterwards, leading to the best friends to challenge them to a street fight next week. Alex Marvez wanted to know backstage whether the Young Bucks really had turned heel, so they super kicked him. A non-wrestling interviewer knocked out by two executive vice president wrestlers in the company, which Excalibur and JR and pretty much no one else seemed to care about. AEW only fined the Bucks $5,000 each. Marvez isn't some super protected personality backstage, but surely this is no different from a wrestler attacking a referee. I thought AEW missed out on more heat by not treating this more seriously. After a few comedy non-reveals, Kip Sabian finally announced a best man who's no stranger to pro wrestling wedding storylines. The former Rusev in WWE, Twitch's own Miro, now complete with bleached blonde hair, like Eminem's Stang gone and swole. Miro has a genuine happiness that oozes through the screen, and it was impossible not to smile along with him as the crowd chanted his name. He then cut a promo telling an unspecified company to take that brass ring and shove it up your ass. His name is Miro, and he's all elite. And according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, he's all elite for at least a year, with that being the length of the contract he's signed. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Thug Life, Andreas Fuglesta. And don't have a Shane Cowley, man. Tony Schiavone had a sit-down interview with Hangman Page about the breakup of the Elite, while Page blamed himself for everything that's happened. He seemed hopeful he and Kenny would get back together, which was dashed by a heartbreaking Omega interview with JR later on, where he said he's given a year of his career to the tag division, now he wants to refocus on singles again. Kenny cut a realistic promo as opposed to his hyper-stylized heel delivery, further drawing out this magnificent character turn. Jericho and Hager beat Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss in a fun no DQ match via fire extinguisher, to then say they're coming for the tag team titles. A nice way to keep Jericho important while not in the main title picture. They'll be entering a tag division now headed up by FTR, who had a celebration segment in the ring surrounded by a bunch of AEW's mid-card teams. It was a rather goofy way to build their match against Jurassic Express. MJF fired his campaign team, even shouting at Wardlow for costing him his match. Wardlow showed a little bit of dissension here, teasing a split down the line. Ricky Starks busted out his emo parody of Darby Allin again to further their feud. Nia Conti, who was also officially signed by AEW yesterday, lost to Nyla Rose with a beast bomb. Shida ran down to stop a further beatdown, seemingly actually starting a women's storyline feud longer than a few weeks. News that Thunder Rosa will return is cause for optimism too, but I've been here before with AEW's rejuvenated women's division after every major show, and so far I've been disappointed every time. And the main event saw a really good back and forth match between Dustin Rhodes and Mr. Brody Lee for the TNT title, with Dustin somehow busting out Hurricane Ranas, Canadian Destroyers and running sentons off the apron despite being 50 years old. I really enjoyed the action, but I question giving Dustin so much, and the Dark Order interference spot with Chopper Silver. It diminishes the shocking momentum of Brody squashing Cody to win the TNT title, which was further knocked down by Cody's big announcement that was teased throughout the entire show. Not that he's coming back and swearing revenge on the faction that attacked him and his wife, but that he'll be a host on TNT's Go Big show. Which sadly isn't just a bunch of people being really supportive for Paul White. Brody's bullying of Colt Cabana, however, was perfectly performed in the post-match. That was this week's episode of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments down below, where I'll be replying to people. From Out of the Go Big Show, you can do it, Big Show, we all believe in you. This episode was a really effective post-pay-per-view reset show, moving on from the feuds that climaxed at All Out and onto new directions, storylines, and debuting former WWE stars. And even the oddly booked Brody Cody stuff wasn't enough to stop this week's Dynamite being a 4 out of 5. Watch Adam Blompier shave his head live on yesterday's Quizzlemania X8, which also saw the debut of Mr. WrestleTalk. What a guy he is! I feel like I've known him forever. Click the video there for that. And has a new NXT call-up been leaked? Click the video on the right to find out who. Remember to save your balls and visit Manscaped using our links below, because it really helps support WrestleTalk. I've been Mr. Davis, he of the biggest balls. And your jam, that champion.